The Best Goalie Ever by Gilles Tibo and Bruno St-Aubin. Scholastic Books. Copyright 2009. Nicholas was happily reading in bed when his dad barged into the room. "Guess what, son? The goalie on your team is sick. How do you feel about playing in net tomorrow?" "Sure," said Nicholas without thinking. "No problem." His dad tucked him in, kissed him goodnight. Nicholas lay in the dark, his eyes wide open. He kept thinking, I never stopped a puck in my life. Nicholas just couldn't get to sleep. To get his mind off the game, he looked out the window. The moon was like a giant hockey puck. The clouds were like huge nets. The stars were champion shooters, and they were about to score on his net. Nicholas was worried. He lay awake wishing tomorrow would never come. Seconds, minutes, and hours ticked by. Nicholas couldn't sleep a wink. When morning came, he was completely exhausted. His dad rushed in. "Hurry, Nicholas, the coach dropped off the equipment. The team is waiting for you at the rink." Nicholas got out of bed. His eyes were barely open. He skidded on a racing car. Bam! He crashed to the floor. Half asleep, he headed for the kitchen. Wham! He walked into the door frame. He sat down at the table. Sploosh! His face first into his cereal bowl. He tried to brush his teeth. Zzz, he fell asleep against the mirror. While Nicholas dozed, his family tried to get him into the goalie gear. It wasn't easy because he was so floppy. All he was dreaming about was sleep, sleep, and more sleep. At last, Nicholas was all geared up. He managed to stuff himself into the car, goalie pads and all. His dad looked at his watch. "We're going to be late," he said. He stepped on the gas. Vroom! Nicholas snoozed, dreaming that he was back in bed. Screech! The car came to a halt outside the arena. Nicholas bolted awake. His dad checked his watch again. "Come on, Nicholas, the game starts in 3 minutes." They hurried through the doors into the arena. Nicholas' heart stopped. The stands were packed. His team was warming up on the ice, and the coach rushed over. "Okay, Nicholas, go get in the net." His dad gave him a wink and a tap on the helmet. "Go on, Nicholas, you're the best." Nicholas headed for the net. His heart was pounding. He took a look at the opposite players. They seemed huge. It was like a bad dream. The game began. Nicholas could barely keep his eyes open. All through the first period, he yawned and stretched and stopped the puck. The crowd cheered. He dropped to his knees for a little rest and made even more saves. The crowd cheered and bounced in their seats. In the second period, Nicholas was even sleepier. He leaned against the goalpost, then the other, and stopped more pucks. The crowd cheered, bounced in their seats, and threw their arms in the air. In the third period, Nicholas was so drowsy that he dropped to the ice for a nap. He stopped even more pucks. Then the crowd cheered, bounced in their seats, threw their arms in the air, and chanted, "Nicholas! Nicholas! Nicholas!" while they did the wave. At last, the game was over. Nicholas' team had won 6-0. There was a standing ovation. Nicholas's team rushed over and congratulated him and carried him on their shoulders, but he was too groggy to smile. In the change room, the coach told Nicholas's dad, "Your son is amazing. He's a natural goalie. He anticipates the shots. He's so laid back. What cool. What leadership." Yes, he amazed us all," said his dad proudly. But Nicholas didn't hear any more. He was fast asleep at last. The Best Goalie Ever by Gilles Tibo and Bruno St-Aubin.